And good morning. Welcome to this morning's interview. It's Chris here from Property Abundance, and I'm very happy to be joined this morning by Juhi, who's based over in London. So hi there, Juhi.
Hi.
How are you doing today? Okay?
I'm good, thanks, Chris. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. Well, look, firstly, thank you for giving up some of your Saturday morning to join me and do a quick interview. Hopefully, a lot of people are going to see this and be inspired by your journey. So really, really appreciate you giving up the time on Saturday morning to meet with me and record it. So, Juhi, before you got into property, just give us a bit of a background to your story. So, where were you before you got into the property sphere?
So I was working in the corporate world. I was an auditor / consultant. So I had very, very kind of tight deadlines, working for a lot of different managers with high expectations, and in a very high pressure environment. I didn't really have much time to see my family because I was traveling the world pretty much 80% of the time.
Which sounds like people's dream, right? But it's never quite cracked up to what it is, is it?
So I was traveling to work.
I was traveling the world. It was terrible. Living the lifestyle, champagne, first class travel.
Yeah, traveling within different corporate offices, not really getting much time for myself to spend with your friends. So it wasn't really kind of what was sold.
The lifestyle it's cracked up to be, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide then? So you're in this high pressure corporate career, kind of very similar background to myself actually as well. What made you decide that you wanted to make a change?
I think there were multiple factors. I think after a while, I realized how little control you have as an employee in your own life, your own destiny. You're kind of tied into a contract, into these long hours where you're not really getting as much appreciation, and you're very dispensable, so you're very vulnerable. At one point, I'd failed an exam. I was training as an accountant. I failed an exam. It was just one out of like 20 that I'd failed, and my contract was terminated on the spot without taking into consideration what my performance was like as an employee, or how I could improve, without really providing me with much assistance.
Was that the accountancy exams?
Yes.
I've heard they can be pretty brutal as well.
Yeah, this was the hardest exam. I think the pass rate was like 20%, and I still got fired for failing it. So it was pretty much against me. But I
no chance to like resit or anything like that?
No. So yeah, I had to look for a new job, and I think that's when I realized that I wanted to do something where I'd have control. I'd have power over my own decisions. I wouldn't just kind of have to react to situations. And that's what pushed me into finding something that I could do for myself, and finding what I could invest into and start my own business.
Okay, so why was property the right avenue for you then, as opposed to like, I don't know, stock trading or forex trading or any of the other kind of business models that are out there that people like to follow the process for? What was it about property?
I think stock trading, all these things sound very complicated to me. With property, in all honesty, my dad is in property. He's a property investor. One thing I've noticed is that he's been able to, it's worked out very well for him. He's been able to support, we have a huge family. He's been able to support everybody. And whenever there's a crisis, he's never kind of hesitated. It's obviously worked out well. It's a safe investment. And, there's strong cash flows from it. So that's why, and it seems like a simple model, not that it's easy, but it seems like there's a process in place, and if you follow it, you can do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fully agree. So is your dad involved in your business at all, or is he got his own thing separate?
No, he's got his own thing, and I really felt like I needed a mentor.
How did you find the 3-day training, first of all? How was the experience? How was the learning? Did you feel like you were missing out on anything by the end of it?
I think there was a lot to learn, because I didn't know very much at all. I think there were a lot of experienced people in the room, well, not necessarily experienced, but people who had at least tried with the rent-to-rent model. I think I was probably the most unexperienced person in the room. I had absolutely no idea. And I think you did a very good job in kind of bringing me up to speed and explaining how things work. I had a lot of questions, and I actually, I thought they would be stupid questions because everybody else seemed to know the answer to what I was asking. But I think one of the things that I really liked was, you didn't make me feel like I was stupid for asking those questions that you me and brought me up to speed quite quick.
Awesome. So after attending the course, obviously you decided you were going to join our mentorship program. So let's talk about what you've done since then. So obviously, bit of a shaky start for you. So let's talk about the journey. So what was your experience like getting into the property world? Obviously, you've done your training, got yourself a mentor, very smart move. What did you then experience going out there and trying to implement everything?
Okay, so I mean, London, it's a very busy city. There are lots of estate agents. It's not a problem trying to find, opportunities. But the issue is there's a lot of competition. Sorry, there's a lot of competition in London because, there are a lot of people who are trying to do the same thing, and they've done it. They've implemented the rent-to-rent model, but they've done it quite poorly, perhaps without training at all, or they haven't quite followed the instructions. So I think what was difficult for me was trying to get agents on board. There was a very high rejection rate because I didn't really have like a portfolio to show or any experience. And I think you definitely need the right training to know what to say or to how to convince somebody or negotiate, and giving you that first opportunity to show that you're going to be able to do a good job. I think that was my first challenge, but also because I did have a very, very busy job, and I think I'd only started my job at that point. So I was finding it very difficult to put all my time into both. I think those were the two biggest challenges that I had.
Yeah. So how did having a mentor help you overcome those?
Well, definitely with the rejection rate, I think I definitely know if I was doing this by myself, after the first few rejections, I think I definitely would have given up because, they're pretty strong on no, like, we're not going to make any of these landlords like your guinea pig. So I think you gave some very good advice on how to convince them and how to show that you're a trustworthy person and you know what you're doing and you've had the right training, and to kind of stay strong in those rejections and not let it bring you down and to keep going.
Yeah.
And
sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, just in a more efficient ways as well, because you understood that I had a very busy job and I had like these tight deadlines to me, and I was finding it difficult to find time. So I think you gave me some ways on how to be kind of efficient, so it's not taking too much of my time, like sourcing, for example.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of this is a bespoke process, isn't it? It's not like you can do a cookie cutter. One person's action plan is going to be very different from another person's action plan because they have different money to start with, they have different time available, they have different commitments. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, everything has to be done in a bespoke way. Otherwise, you end up with a generic kind of process to follow that isn't right for everyone. It might not be right for anyone. So yeah, I fully agree. It has to be bespoke to everyone. So obviously you stuck at it, which is well done. So what results did you manage to achieve, and in one day, I might add?
So I found a deal in Barron's Court in Hammersmith, and it's actually two different flats within the same building. So I actually managed to get 2 deals in one day. There are like 7 bedrooms, and the annual profit is around £24,000 a year.
So £24,000 a year pay rise when it's fully occupied and cash flowing.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So if you're watching this, give Juhi a virtual round of applause. That's that's really awesome. So really well done, Juhi. And obviously myself and Toby as well, who's obviously sat watching behind us here, who is our head coach on our mentorship program, was working very closely with Juhi on this. Both immensely proud of you. You should be very, very proud of yourself as well. That's an awesome result. And I'm sure the first of many results like that for you as well. So has that made an impact for you then on the lifestyle side of things? Has it shifted your perspective in any way?
Yes, I'm definitely a lot more focused on doing well in the property business now. I feel like I'm less kind of reliant on my day job. Not that I'm not trying in that area. Obviously I need to do well, but this is kind of more of my core focus now, because I can see what I can do if I put time into it and I have the right mentor. So this is
awesome. Well, that's great to hear. So I guess, like, I'm just looking at the time, so I don't want you to miss your call that you've got to roll onto. So what would you say then is your biggest learning from the last 12 months experience?
Quite a few. So, but I think the most important one would be at the start of your sort of property journey, when you don't have the experience and you're getting a lot of rejection. Of course, the agents are going to give you a lot of rejection because they're trying to remove from the pool the people who are going to not do a great job. But if you stay persistent and you improve, or you kind of look at how you can improve, and take advice from your mentor, then you can get past those rejections and find some very good deals if you keep trying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And is there like a specific piece of advice you might give anybody who's just starting their property journey?
To definitely work with a mentor, because I think when you're doing it by yourself, not that it's impossible, but there are so many curveballs, and you can avoid them or get past them a lot faster. You'd be able to kind of speed up your journey and start earning money a lot quicker if you took advice from a mentor.
Amazing. And what are your next steps from here, Juhi? Obviously, like you've got your first deal over the line now. You're in the process of getting the tenants sorted for that. What's your future plan? Like, what's your next step? Have you had to think about that yet or not?
Yeah, I have. Once I've fully tenanted this property, I do want to look onto finding my next deal. I want to try and grow my business as possible.
Is it going to be like a salary replacement structure for you? Is that the aim here, is to replace your salary so you can be full-time in your business?
Yes, true. Yeah, so grow my business, replace my salary, and leave my job. I'm not really too interested in
That's the game plan.
an employer anymore.
Money.
Yeah, in all honesty, I'm definitely enjoying this a lot more. And it has changed my perspective on working for someone else a lot more than I expected. I am focusing on my work, but I'm not really interested in staying there.
It's okay, Juhi. Your employers aren't watching. Not a national
professional pride. That's
okay. That's good. All right, Juhi. Well, look, thanks. I know we're out of time, so thank you very much for giving us some time this morning. Really, really appreciate that, and hopefully that's going to inspire some other people who are maybe thinking about getting into property. There is a path there. There is a model. There is something that they can follow. And anyone can be successful in this business. It just takes persistence. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's a simple process to follow, but you have to put the work in. And I think sometimes people come into this with their eyes a bit closed and thinking that I'm going to get into property. It's going to be super easy. I'm going to be a millionaire overnight. And no business is like that. But the rewards are there for those who put the work in. So if you're prepared to put the work in like Juhi has, the rewards are there for anyone to take. So Juhi, I want to say again, thank you very much for your time this morning. Really, really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you very soon.
Thank you. Bye, Chris.